In this breaking story, Donald Trump is outraged as a top plastic surgeon just exposed MAGA. That's right, this is getting highly intense. How's it going, everybody? Hunter Avalone here with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. Now, no amount of plastic surgery could ever make Donald Trump likable.
In all honesty, and I don't mean this in a flippant way, I think that our president has an illness. And I don't say that to try to draw out a laugh or anything. I think he has a mental illness. There's something going on in a global societal framework that is aggressive. The anxiety levels are high, fear is high, xenophobia is high, racism, it's percolating. I think someone like President Trump is a result of those anxieties as opposed to being put into place. I think he exacerbates the anxiety, but I don't think he was the initial cause of it.
And there's several reasons why people dislike Trump. For one, he touted a better economy, and now all we have are more bankruptcies in the year 2025.
I don't know if you've heard, but here's what's happening with bankruptcies inside the U.S. in 2025. In 2025, at least 717 companies filed for bankruptcy. That's the highest number of companies to do so since 2010, and that's a major increase compared to last year alone. Economists and business leaders point to a mix of pressures driving this, including inflation and higher interest rates, supply chains, and you guessed it, Trump-era tariffs on imported goods that have raised the cost for manufacturers and import-dependent businesses. Many companies have said that higher tariffs, especially on steel, auto, solar materials, and other components, squeezed the margins and disrupted planning, forcing them into financial trouble. This doesn't mean that tariffs are the only cause, but tariffs are widely cited by analysts as a significant factor in stress that is facing companies right now. When businesses can't absorb or pass on the increased costs, it will only push them towards bankruptcy, and that's what we're seeing now, especially across manufacturing and transportation sectors. Especially across manufacturing, transportation, and other sectors.
But now Trump is outraged as a top plastic surgeon just exposed MAGA. Take a look at this. Donald Trump is reportedly fuming today after a Washington, D.C. plastic surgeon just blew the lid off what she calls MAGA's deeply embarrassing cosmetic obsession, and it's not the subtle kind. In a new interview, longtime D.C. plastic surgeon Dr. Anita Kulkarni revealed she's seeing a surge of Trump-linked women demanding extreme cosmetic work. So extreme, she says, she's had to flat out refuse them for safety reasons. She described what's being called the Mar-a-Lago face, where patients insist on more and more fillers, even when their faces are already overloaded, creating what she bluntly compared to a Joker-like smile. Kulkarni says this is completely new for DC, a city historically known for understated cosmetic work. But she says that's gone out the window under Trump's second administration.
Yeah, so this is just a little collection of photos, before and after photos of some of the Mar-a-Lago face kind of before and afters. And this one over here is just an example of 4 that have had it done that are all post Mar-a-Lago face. And what you're going to notice in each of them is pretty much the same thing, which is that you take a face that started with normal, natural, rounded contours and you angularize it. So you make these very, very sharp angles. And so the first
How do
thing
you
they
do that? Is that a knife or is that a filler?
that's a filler typically. I mean, these women could have had any combination of surgery and filler, but a lot of times the jawline work is done with filler. So you're adding filler to the corner, you're adding filler to the chin, and you're creating these really sharp lines. And then the same thing with the lips. You start out with lips that look relatively normal or even lips that are on the small side, and then you add more and more and more filler until they become kind of cartoonishly full. And then the third thing that's really common is overdone cheek filler. So if you look, the interesting thing I think that happens with overdone cheek filler is that the smile changes and it goes into like a Joker type smile. So this is a really good example up top where she
Mhm.
started out with a smile that curves up like a normal human smile. But when you put so much filler in the cheek that it pushes down on the cheek, now the smile goes straight across and it has this little bit of an abnormal contour to it that
Mhm.
looks like the Joker. And I think that you see again and again and again.
Thanks so much for watching. Please click that like button and subscribe to Occupy Democrats so that you can stay informed and help us stop Donald Trump.